Hello guys, how you doing? Welcome back to another great class where today we're going to be talking about how do we help families to create a stronger financial foundation. So for those of you that know who I am, my name is Coach Keyon Corniffe. I'm a financial educator, business coach here. I'm located in Florida, and I just want to tell you guys that what we do is that we provide financial workshops to families so that way they can continue learning things like this. And also, what I do is that I also help business owners with business mentorship, and I also provide financial services with all type of insurance, retirement planning, college planning, estate planning, and many, many more great things. But today, what I'm going to share with you is what is that I do? How do we help you create a stronger financial foundation? Because as you know, our goal is to make sure that we empower you with the knowledges and the understanding so that way you can take the initiative steps to keep winning the money game. So let's jump right into it, right? Let's talk about what is that you got to do to create a stronger financial foundation. So first thing we got to do to create a stronger financial foundation is that you must know the four things that we must know. You got to know the four things that you must know or we all should know so that way we can do the next things. So the first thing we're going to talk about is number one. You got to know why. Why do you need to make more money? Right? Why do you need to make more money? It's because you got to know what is known as your final income number for retirement. If you know what's your final income number for retirement, then you're going to have a clear understanding of how much you're going to need in retirement and how much you need to save to be able to get to that retirement goal. But then the next thing you must know is the how. You must learn how to save. And if you learn how to save, we're going to teach you how to use the 50-30-20 budgeting plan so that way you know how much you should save and how much you can spend before you do either one of them. We're also going to show you how to put together a goal to grow, right? So we're going to show you a goal to grow your money. But most importantly, in order to grow your money, you got to create a stronger financial foundation, which we're going to talk about today. And also, we're going to put together a plan to protect your money. Because you got to learn how to use what formulas to build up your savings and investments at the same time. So these are the four things that we must know when it comes to our money. And we must understand how to make it, save it, grow it, and protect it at the same time. So that's why we're going to share with you how to put that all together. So let's talk about how to create that financial foundation. What must we do? Now, in order to create that financial foundation, first thing we got to establish is proper protection. We must establish proper protection so that way we can protect ourselves against three events that you can't prevent. So these are the three events you can't predict that's going to happen to you. Can you predict when you're going to die? Can you predict when you're going to get sick? Can you predict when you're going to become disabled? That's why it's important to have proper protection in place for these three events that you can't predict what's going to happen. Also, we're going to teach you how to manage your debt. You're going to learn how to gather the information for the creditors that you know, the APR upon your debts, the balance upon your debts, and what's the minimum payment. And then we're going to show you how to pay down your debt and build up your credit over time. We're also going to teach you how to create an emergency fund. Why it's important to set aside 3 to 6 months of your income for those unexpected moments. We will teach you how to establish a very strong emergency fund and where to save that money so that way it can also grow at the same time. And then we're going to teach you how to save and invest your money. But before you start to save and invest your money, we're going to make sure that you know what is your risk and tax tolerance. You will know what is your risk and tax tolerance in this moment so that way you can understand what it means to be conservative, a moderate growth, or an aggressive investor. And you also will learn how your money will be taxed when you make it, save it, grow it, and start to take it. So you must learn the three ways your money get taxed upon distribution, which means that your money get taxable, tax deferred, and tax advantages, which means that you'd be in a position where your money get taxed now, later, and never. All right. So these are some of the things you're going to be learning in the program so that way you understand how to create a stronger financial foundation. So what does a proper protection look like? Well, proper protection look like this. These are the four things one must establish, and you must establish these four things in order to have proper protection for you and your family. So we're going to show you how to qualify for a final expense insurance. We're going to show you how to use a life insurance. We're going to teach you about retirement planning and estate planning. So these are the four things I'm going to cover with you moving forward and break them down, how to use these four things to create that proper protection that you and your family need. But before we get into that, the first thing we're going to discover and talk about what is known as the DIME method. DIME method. So your dime method is used to tell you how much protection is needed for these 4 events here. Now remember, when you think about the dime, I want you to think about 2 events. 2 events you got to plan for no matter what. You got to plan for if you die too soon and if you live too long. So if you in the event that you die too soon, you need to protect your dime. Because if you live too long, you would have taken care of the dime at the same time. All right? So, first thing, what does the D stands for? Debt. Debt coverage. You see, do you currently right now have that protection in place to protect all your credit card debts, student loan debts, car note debts? Is all your debts protected? Because in the event of you passed away too early, then someone else may become liable to those debts. And then is your income protected? Do you have income replacement? Do you have 10 times your annual income in protection? So in the event if you passed away and someone depends on your income like a spouse, a child, a grandchild, or a parent, do you have income protection? Then most importantly, mortgage protection. Is your mortgage protection there? Is your balance in your mortgage protected? Because in the event if you pass away too soon, guess what's going to happen? Your family may end up have to downsize or they may have to eventually sell that house. And your PMI insurance does not cover your home. The PMI insurance is for the bank. That's why it's important to know that if you have 20% equity in your home, you no longer need a PMI. That's why you got to protect your mortgage and have mortgage protection. And then when it comes to educational planning, it is so important for us to protect our children's education. Because in the event if you die too soon, did you know that the average tuition for school is anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000 as far as college tuition per child? So the question is, if you die too soon, why should our kids go into debt to seek higher education? Why do our grandkids have to do that, right? So that's why you really got to plan for that. And it's important to know your dime. So I want you to take the time to calculate what is your dime? What is your dime? And that way we can show you if you're properly protected at the same time. Now, let's jump right into it. What's the first topic we're going to talk about? We're going to cover what is a final expense. What is final expense insurance? So final expense insurance is a whole life product that gives you the ability to receive protection. So this more protects your final expenses like your burial. This is where they'll be able to pay out tax-free death benefit to your beneficiary, so that way they could take care of your funeral expenses, because this is the only insurance that pays out within 48 hours. Your average life insurance, like a term or a permanent policy, will naturally take anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks. But when you have a final expense insurance, it is something that most family will miss, and you got to ask yourself, do you have final expense insurance? Because you need to have that proper protection in place, so that way it can take care of your funeral arrangements. This policy will pay out within 48 hours of you passing. It does provide a concierge service where you can call a professional anywhere in the world 24/7 a day. And it provides online planning where you could have unlimited storages where you can store documents and PDFs and pictures. And you can write out a plan and all your wishes and store them there. So we're talking about plans like your funeral. You can write out your entire funeral. You can put together your power of attorney, your health directive, and yes, you could even establish your will prep. So that's how you could even protect some of your assets. So you can prepare these documents to protect your assets and give instructions on what to do. Our final expense insurance can do that for you. And all you have to do is qualify. You just need to answer 9 questions to see if you qualify. There's no medical is needed. You wouldn't have to worry about a medical or someone sticking you with a needle, pulling blood. That's not needed to own final expense. And we'll be glad to see if you qualify. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is how you own term. If you're going to own term insurance, you must own term with living benefits. Let me share with you why. When you have that proper protection is to protect your dime. Use term to protect your dime. Your death benefit, it should be the coverage of your dime. So that term could protect you for the next 10 years, 20 years, or up to 30 years. Even as low as 5 years, you could get protection to protect that dime. It all depends on how long that dime needs to be protected. And in other things, it also gives you protection for any terminal illness, chronic illness, critical illness. So if you used to get terminally ill, chronically ill, guess what? They will start paying out to you in tax advantages. So not only do your beneficiaries receive the dime amount, which is your death benefit, You, while you're alive, you can also receive money while you're alive where you get tax-free terminal, chronic, or critical illnesses. That money will start paying out to you where they start accelerating the death benefit even when you're alive. Also, it's very affordable. Term is very affordable where you can get a high amount of coverage for a low amount of premium. And it's convertible. You could convert term from the term policy into a permanent policy, and this could convert it without even a medical is needed, guys. So I just want to tell you that, right? You could do that. And it's so awesome that you can do that for yourself and your family. So own term and let it protect your dime. But at the same time, I want you to look into an index universal life. We're going to show you how to qualify for this. You would learn how to qualify for an index universal life where you can get growth on your money so that way you have the growth potential with multiple index accounts and options, meaning that your money will be credited, right? So your money's not in the stock market, but it gets credited by the stock market's performance, which means that your money will be getting credited by things like the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, the Dow Jones, all these different indexes. And they also provide you with safety. When you qualify an index universal life insurance, it actually provides you with safety where they guarantee you a minimum interest rate or a floor, which means that every time the stock market reflects in a negative or they correct the stock market and it goes negative, you are guaranteed to never lose what you gained and what you contributed in. Guaranteed to never lose money. That's guaranteed. And you get tax advantages here too as well. You get tax deferred growth. So when the money's growing inside your account, you won't lose any money to lose taxes. You don't pay no capital gains tax. When you need the money, you get it out tax free through withdrawals, loans, and death benefit. And yes, you also get protection. So you have a death benefit there, and you'll also be in a position where you have the chronic, critical, or terminal illness there as well. So if God forbid something was to happen to you, they will start paying out a death benefit to you while you're alive to offset any cost or long-term care that is needed due to your chronic, critical, or terminal illnesses. Once again, in these vehicles, we have different companies that we can help you to qualify with that don't even require medical. They do a simple underwriting as well with some of the companies that we work with, and we can see if we get you qualified. Now, when we talk about retirement planning, you got to remember there's two types of retirement plan. Your retirement plan is either secure or it's unsecure. So if you have an unsecure retirement plan, it means that your money is tied up in the stock market. So your stock market are known as variable contracts. So when your money is in the stock market, the market does well, you do well. The stock market does bad, you do bad. But if you have your money in a secure account, which is known as an index account where your money is getting credited by the stock market performance and they guarantee your safety that you never lose money, that's where you have the potential to get growth inside of an index annuity where we teach you how to transfer your wealth, or we call it doing a rollover. We're able to do a rollover so you can move your unsecured accounts like your 401ks, 403bs, 457s, IRAs, any of those variable contracts, we can roll them over into an index account. And this is where you can get like growth potentials with multiple index account options and even sign-on bonuses. Did you know that I represent a company right now that can guarantee you 7% interest on your money for the first 10 years with a sign-on bonus of anywhere from 10 to 30%? So imagine having $100,000 and you were able to transfer it over into this account. You get an instant $30,000 gain if you qualify for the 30% sign-on bonus. These are things that we help with families to do. We want to show you how to secure and grow your funds. And at the same time, it provides you that safety on your retirement plans. So now your retirement is no longer subject to market loss or even sometimes even asset under management fees. So they guarantee you to never lose money on the principals or the gains. You can also have different payout options where you can have an income for life payout phase. So you have income options as well. These are available for you to receive income for a lifetime. That's one of the payout phases that's available to you in this vehicle. And you have what's called a death benefit. So an annuitant driven. So God forbid something was to happen to you and you passed away in between as you're collecting funds, your funds will then, the remainder will be paid out to your beneficiary, and it also avoids them from going through probate. So it's very incredible. So once you put together, like I said, these power protection, you've got to also keep in mind estate planning. Because one of the things about estate planning, you got to make sure that you have a living will. Because a living will is also known as your last will and testament. And it's pretty much a legal enforceable declaration of how a person want their properties and assets to be distributed after death. Okay, so you can assign who will receive and who won't. And then also you got to put together a trust fund. It is designed to allow for an easy transfer of all your assets so that we can avoid this very expensive and complex procedure known as probate court. Also, you'll be able to put together a power of attorney where you can assign someone to make financial decisions or property decisions or medical decisions for you if you can't do that in a unconscious state of mind. Now, you also will have advanced directive, and this is where you can appoint someone or you could already have written, health decisions that you want for yourself so that way other people could carry these out on your wishes. So that's why it's so important for us to establish an estate plan also. But the good thing that we do for you is that every year we'll be in a position where we could meet with you and we will do what's called an annual review. So we could meet in the following ways. We could meet once a year, which is every anniversary of your account, or we could meet 3 times for the year, every 4 months, or we could meet every month, or we could meet even every 3 months. All right. So you can pick and choose how much time you would like us to meet so we could do your reviews. But every year when we meet, we're going to talk about what is the cost? What is the cost of insurance? What is the cost of everything that's going on around you? Also, how much did you save? We're going to talk about how much did you save, not only in your accounts, but also we're going to talk about how much is your saving goal per year, right? And how on track did you go and how well did you execute that? And also we're going to talk about how much did you make? We're going to talk about what is your make? How much did you make not only in your savings and your accounts and your investments? We're going to do a full review on that. And then we're going to also talk about what is the value? What is the total value of your estate, right? So that way we know that it's properly protected at all time. So at this moment, I just want to know what questions do you have for me? What questions do you have for me at this time? And here's some of the things that I want you to think about. How do we move forward? As you look at A, your next step is we need to complete your financial needs analysis, and there's no cost to this. This is 100% free. So we got to put together your financial needs analysis. And then B, I also want you to tell me where you see yourself in our firm. Do you see yourself as someone that just want to refer us people that you want us to educate on your behalf? Or do you see yourself as a student? Do you want to continue moving forward as a student? You want to get access to our free workshops? Or do you just see yourself as a client? Maybe you just want to take advantage of our services. Maybe you want to look into different insurances that's out there. It could be life, health, or maybe you want to look into some retirement planning, or maybe you want to talk about estate planning or in different investment strategies. Maybe you want to look into some of those things as a client. Or maybe do you see yourself as a business owner with us? Could you see yourself doing an education session like what we do here? And if we would show you how to make some part-time income where it wouldn't conflict your current schedule, would you be open to that? So that's why I want to just ask you, is that something that you'd be open to? And if you are open to it, I would definitely want to encourage you to definitely get in touch with me or the person that shared this with you so that way we can help you. Or you can just text us, I am ready, at 321-312-0130. Sorry. So that is 321-312-0130. All right. So I look forward to it. It's such a pleasure. I hope you learn a lot. Always remember that you are one decision away from changing your future for the better. So always remember that the choice is always yours. My name is Coach Keyon Corniffe, also known as Mr. Finance, your favorite financial educator. And I look forward till next time. Keep with it.